Good morning, cyber friend. It's Smitty Man coming at you again from over here, back here in the Walker Studios. We just want to say good morning to everybody. Actually, it's just about noon, about lunchtime, but still morning. So we just want to say that give God all the praise and glory and honor. We thank Him for as well as it is, and we thank Him for each and every one of you. Your cyber friends, you know who you are. You see my title this morning saying we need to grow up. We need to grow up. My pastor yesterday on Dr. Donnie Green Sr. preached a sermon and that was very, very relevant to our day and time. In other words, it came from Matthew 22, if I'm not mistaken, about the man, the king that made a wedding and bid the people to come and to his son's wedding. And then when he bidded them to come, those that did come, you had some that came and didn't have a wedding garment, and that excuse me, still a little short of breath, people, and it made the king angry, and the king had his servants to bind that one up that didn't have a garment and to throw him into the outer darkness. In other words, y'all know what that means. Now, people. Now, let me. This is what our pastor was trying to get us to see yesterday. Now, when you are bidding to a wedding, you got most of the time they're not going to wait for a week to tell you that. They're not going to wait for a month to tell you that. Most of the time, they're going to tell you that like a year in advance. A person planning a wedding, they'll tell you almost a year in advance, at least 6 months in advance, to let you know, and you're going to come, you need a wedding garment, whether that be a tuxedo or whatever it might be. You're going to need that garment in order to be a part of the wedding party. And for you to show up in anything, a t-shirt and short pants, you way out of order. People, that's sort of like, that's irresponsibility. That's irresponsible. That's slackness and lewdness. In other words, this is how come I said we need to grow up. Some people, you don't do them any favor. You know, I can remember in my early days, bringing up my early days, my mom, like I say, was very young when I was born. And in our hometown, there was not many opportunities for young blacks. It wasn't many opportunities for blacks, period, let alone young blacks. And so my mom had to leave home at an early age, and I was a young child. And she traveled to New York City to work, to find work, in order to take care of us and everything. So I was left with my grandmama, my great aunt, and my great grandmama, the one that really raised me in those early days until my mom returned from New York City. So, but the one thing that now I didn't have no real male figures in my life. 'Cause I didn't even know my dad until I was like 17 years old. But I did have an uncle that, you know what I mean. I learned a lot from my uncle, and we did a lot of things together. He taught me a lot, so I could say, that he was more like a dad to me than an uncle. But what I'm saying is, my grandmama, my great grandmama, my great aunt, they taught me responsibility. Now, there's one thing they taught me, because I was the oldest, I was the eldest in all the word, and they taught me that. And standing on your own 2 feet. Don't depend on everybody to do everything for you. In other words, and stand up and be a man. And so this is what the pastor was preaching about yesterday. About this wedding garment. In other words, many are called, but few are chosen. In other words, you got a lot of people that always saying, if I had the opportunity, I would do this and I would do that and I would do this. But then when you give them the opportunity, they're not going to do anything. You got to go and try to find them. You got to hunt for them, and they be hiding up on a bush. Pastor really preached a real powerful sermon yesterday, and it made me think a lot on that. Is you got a lot of people, you got to let people, if you in other words, that was time when I did some things, and my grandmama and them made me face it. In other words, they made me face the music to make me grow up, let me know that how to stand on my own 2 feet and be a man. Even though, like I said, I didn't have, my father wasn't around and to teach me those things, but they taught me the best they could. But they taught me how to stand up and be counted and to be noticed and not to be shamed and bashful and everything, but go on and speak what I, in other words, my great grandmama especially taught me this. She always told me, say what you mean and mean what you say. And I'm like that to this very, very day. And I'm just saying, we all need to be like this here. In other words, don't be like this here unworthy servant. Be called to a wedding and then you show up and don't have a garment. Don't do that. Many are called, few are chosen. In other words, be a chosen one. In other words, don't let somebody have to bail you out of everything. In other words, learn how to do something for yourself. In other words, when I was coming up, my great grandmama used to take us to fishing. I never will forget that. And she used to bait my hook when I first started trying to learn how to fish. She would bait my hook for me. But then she was showing me how to do it so I could do it myself. So after about that first couple of times, I didn't need her to do it anymore, so I would bait my own hook. And I didn't want nobody to do it for me then because I know how to do it myself. You see, when you start depending on other folks to do every little thing for you, then you really handicap and cripple. So in other words, we just need to do like our pastor said when he put the garment on little Brian yesterday, and he put his robe around him. He said, "It feels good, don't it?" It feels good when you can stand on your own 2 feet and you don't have to be upholding to nobody to do anything for you. Now, except for Christ, we should only be dependent on Christ, but not on everybody. You can't depend on man, because man will fail you. Some of them mean well, but they are not supposed to come to you. You know what I mean? Here I am now, 56 years old, and ever since I left home, when I went off to college, I never believe it. I never have asked my mom, grandmom, for not $1. Ever since I left home. That's right. I would give them, but I have never asked them for $1. Because I know the upbringing I got to stand on my own. To stand on my own. Now, if a lot of times, if sometimes, people can fall on a little hard time sometimes. Things can happen out of your way that you unexpected thing can happen. That can happen. So we understand that. But you know what I mean, people that know, that you burn lights. Georgia Power gonna want their money every month. You using water. Well, your city gonna want their money for their water every month. You know that. Those things don't sneak up on you. You already know they coming. Prepare for them. A real person will prepare for that kind of stuff. See, in other words, you ain't no sense you talking about that surprise you. You already know that. If you got a car, you got a car payment coming every month. That don't surprise you. So when that car payment come due, it is your responsibility to have that money to pay for that car note. Or anything else like that you bought on installment payments. Your thing don't come as no surprise. It's your slackness that catches you off, because we want to do everything else. We want to party and run up and down this road, whatever we want to do with other people, and then negate our responsibility and then put it off on somebody else when it come time due. It don't work that way. It don't work that way, and that's what I was saying. The pastor really preached a good sermon. He preached a good sermon yesterday, and all of it was about being responsible. And don't go to no wedding without your garment on, because you're gonna be cast into outer darkness. In other words, teaching you know what you're supposed to do it. That's do it. If you don't, If when the king invited them to the wedding, if they wasn't gonna be able to get a garment, they just should have said, "I'm not gonna be able to attend," and let that did. That's what the pastor was trying to get us to say. Don't say I'm coming. The pastor get you to be on a program at the church, and you say you're gonna be on the program, and he put you on there. Then the day of the program, you don't show up. That ain't right. That ain't right. So with that said, this middle man, I'm not trying to put nobody on bad light, but I'm just saying we all need to grow up. And we got some people that's 20 years old, 15 years old. Some of us 40, 50, and 60. We still need to grow up. That's just it. So we just take it all in stride, and let's just try to do better if we can. God will bless you for it. This middle man saying whatever you get into. If God ain't in it, get out of it. God gonna come to nothing. Till the next time, next video, next Bible study, whichever come first. This middle man saying peace and good day.